one of the houses in St. Cloud, an appraisal came back and it was basically worth what they paid for it. But it was a shock to the sellers. But then I was researching it, what went on in 2021, it was a lot of intrinsic value, kind of like back in 2008. It was fake.
Right.
So it took all these years for your house to catch up to that value.
Right.
For that fake value that happened during that time.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, it does, because for the longest time, I used to call it, you're playing with house money. Like for anybody that sold a house in 2020, 2021 and bought something bigger and more expensive or whatever, I'm like, even if you lose value in this house, you're still, you know what I mean? Like you're still like when it adjusts for how the crazy going up, like if you would have stayed in your old house, you'd be at the same spot. Like you didn't really lose anything. So now, unfortunately, like for people who were first time buyers, you know, that bought in 2021 or 2022, like that's a big thing that comes up. Welcome to another episode of Discover St. Cloud, Florida. I'm Kristin Macari, and I'm here with your host,
Jeanine and Corcoran, broker for Corcoran Connect Realty.
I am like, I can't believe it's basically summer.
I know.
So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Like, everyone's graduating. Mother's Day passed.
You know, that's like a joke that somebody came up with a couple of years ago. It's Maycember, you know, because like it's like the holiday season where like just everything happens in May.
Right.
Like, you know, we have graduations and end of school and tests and exams and Mother's Day and, you know, hey, you know what? We should petition to move Mother's Day to a less busy month.
Yeah, that's true. Why did they pick May? That's so true.
I'm telling you. But listen, all right. So we have some data for you for the April of 2026. Do you want to go ahead and kick us off with 34769?
So 34769, we had 24 homes that sold, and this is basically in your state streets, most of the sales. We had 22 single stories at $215.95 price per square foot, and only 2 stories at $149.46.
So your month over month averages are down in 34769 about 3.8%. So we went from 218.78 average down to 210.41. And then your year over year averages are down about 2.5% as well. So definitely seeing some, like this is the first time I feel like the last couple of months we're starting to see 34769 also take,
right, because they really haven't been.
No, they haven't really, just mostly because that's, I feel like the entry level home price area is 34769. So your median days to contract, it's taking about 22 days to go under contract. So still pretty good there, 3 weeks. Yep. And then 62 days to get closed. So not too bad in 34769.
Wow. Well, let's go on to 34771, the most busiest zip code usually. And so we had 103 properties that sold. Of that, 52 were single stories at 228.83 price per square foot. And then we have 51 2 stories. So it was just about even at 206.26 price per square foot. I feel like the price per square foot went down a little.
Well, okay. You're ready for this? Because I actually thought that there was something wrong. Like I did something wrong with the data. So last month over month averages, your last month price per square foot was $217.65.
Oh, okay.
And this month it's $217.65.
65, okay.
So it's exactly the same. And year over year, you're seeing a slight increase. It was $217.42 in April of 2025, and it is currently $217.65. So you're up like 0.1%. So I feel like 34771's kind of leveled out. You know, so we're kind of, this is the new price range there. Your median days to contract is 38 days, and median days to close is 80. And that does not include new construction. So we take out new construction when we look at those numbers, just so it's not skewed there. And you're looking at about a 3.8 month supply in the area with the amount of active homes on the market. Wow. And of course, that doesn't include every available home, you know, just whatever they have listed.
So then we go on to 34772 out by the manor, and we had 61 homes that sold. Of the single stories, 45 of them sold at 216.21, and the 2 stories, we had 16 that sold at 182.38.
And so your month over month averages here are down about 7.3%. So you were at 223.66 last month, and we're at 207.33 this month. Year over year is down about 7% as well. So we were at 222, just about 223 a year ago, and we're down to 207 price per square foot average here. Your median days to contract is about 32 days and then 75 days to close. And currently there's about a 4.8 month supply based on current absorption rates.
Wow. So let's go out to 34773 where we live. And first we'll cover the whole area. There were only 25 houses that sold. 19 of them were single stories at 210.27 price per square foot. And there's 6 homes that sold that were 2 stories at 175.48.
So month over month averages, you're looking at a slight increase here. 34773 is always a hard one because I feel like there's not really a lot of data. So like, I feel like the numbers tend to skew more, every month. But so you're looking at a slight increase. We were at 199.57 in March, and now we are 201.92 average price per square foot. Year over year, we're showing about a 6% decrease. So we were about at 214.76 a year ago. And down to 201.92 now. It's currently, for the homes that closed, we were at 42 days to go under contract and about 96 days to get closed.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at about a 4.4 month supply. Again, not including every new construction, but there is quite a bit of new construction listed there. So,
Wow. So here we go. Harmony. We always like to pull you out and tell you what's going on here. So we had a whopping 6 properties that sold this month.
Ooh, boy.
Okay. So in Harmony, Maine, we had a condo and a townhouse sell in Ashley Park. And the price per square foot was $156.98. And then we had on Sundrop, we had one property that sold. It was a single story, and that one sold at $216.39 price per square foot. And then we had one custom home on Five Oaks that sold at $158.49 price per square foot. And then
That one surprised me really quick. When I saw that sell, I was like, I remember we shot that you had that originally before this.
Right, the
last
next person.
Yeah, exactly. And that was just surprising to see it end up going
I know.
that low. So I'm curious what the story was behind that one. But anyway, sorry. Didn't mean to.
No, that's okay. And then let's not forget about the lakes. We did have 2 sales, and I sold one of them, one on Oakmark and then one on Sagebrush. And the price per square foot came in at 182.32. But you have to realize the one on Oakmark actually had a pool. So that sold for higher at 212.26. That's unusual
Right.
to have a pool in the lakes.
Yeah.
So that's the story with Harmony. Do you have any stats on Harmony as far as how many we have listed right now?
Nope, but we can pull that up.
Okay, while you're pulling that, I'll go on to Harmony West. Harmony West, we had a total of 11 that sold at 208.78 price per square foot, and they were all single stories except one, and the one that came in as a 2-story was 169.59. Harmony Central, we had 8 that sold. Of that, we had 5 single stories, and we also had 3 2-stories. And let's wait and see what's going on with.
I was wondering what happened here because this didn't update. I was very confused why they were not popping up on the map. I'm like, surely there's houses listed for sale in Harmony. I just can't find them. No, that's great. Give me 1 second here and I will tell you.
And while we're waiting for Kristin, and I put her on the spot and I shouldn't have, just know, if you want to know what your house is worth, you could always go to Zillow or Realtor.com, but that's a computer generated price that they're giving you. So if you ever want to know, if you don't have a realtor, if you have a realtor, always call your realtor. But if you don't have a realtor, we're always happy to go ahead and sit with you, give you the real stats that let you know what's going on here. All about numbers and trying to get your house sold, and happy to do that for you. And it's free, of course. So just feel free to always reach out.
So there are currently 38 properties listed for sale in all of Harmony. The majority of them are single-family homes. So you have 31 single-family homes that are currently listed active in Harmony. And then let me just take a quick look here at your average days on market. Well, let me go median because we do median for everything else. Median days on market right now for everything that's listed as active is 54 days. On the market still with no contracts on it. And I know we do have, it felt like we had quite a few pending recently. So let's see, we have 12 that are currently under contract that are single family homes. And out of the ones that are under contract here, you are looking at a median days to contract of 61.
Oh, wow.
So
you know what I'm noticing? More and more sellers that bought during COVID, like 21, right? 2021, that even in St. Cloud, that when we're going to talk to them about the house, their house is like worth less than what they pay for it.
Right.
Or they're lucky if it's worth what they pay for it.
Right. So then you're thinking 21, 22.
Yeah, 21, 22. Yeah, the
The
real,
end of 21, beginning of 22.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'm seeing that more and more. And I had one of the houses in St. Cloud, an appraisal came back, and it was basically worth what they paid for it. But it was a shock to the sellers. But then I was researching it. What went on in 2021? It was a lot of intrinsic value, kind of like back in 2008. It was fake.
Right.
So it took all these years for your house to catch up to that value,
Right.
for that fake value that happened during that time.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, it does, because for the longest time I used to call it, you're playing with house money. Like for anybody that sold a house in 2020, 2021 and bought something bigger and more expensive or whatever, I'm like, even if you lose value in this house, you're still, you know what I mean? Like you're still like when it adjusts for how the crazy going up, like if you would have stayed in your old house, you'd be at the same spot. Like you didn't really lose anything. So now, unfortunately, like for people who were first time buyers, you know, that bought in 2021 or 2022, like that's a big thing that comes up. I feel like also I'm noticing and you could probably speak to this better, but like the houses that are actually selling are either houses like over 700 because it feels like people with money, if they have money, this isn't bothering them. Or if you have a house that has something unique about it, right? The pool home you listed in Harmony.
Yeah.
That was very nicely updated.
Yeah.
Like that went really fast.
Yeah.
It wasn't, there was, you know what I mean? But if you just have an average home and an average subdivision, like really it's going to be price that's going to.
And all these houses that are 2004 to 2006, they own, like our house was, you know, my house was 2004, had to get updated.
Right.
You know, these houses, they're not flying off the market. They're competing with new build. They have to really like get a facelift. You
got to do something.
What do? You give it a facelift
to sell it.
You're
not going to get your money back, but you're going to sell it quicker.
Right. Or do you drastically reduce the price knowing that your house has to get updated?
And that's the other option, right? If you're a seller, if you have the ability to price it to at or slightly below the market, then I think that you're in a position where you can get multiple offers, because I'm dealing with a family that wants to get into, a bigger home than they're currently in. And the ones that they find end up going quickly because they are kind of like that first one, right? With the pool that like everybody wants, that's priced appropriately for the area and stuff like that. Or, they want a special deal. And so you got to kind of look for that. So, there's two ways to do it, but it just feels like the average home in the average neighborhood, like if you've got nothing special, you're gonna have to compete on price at that point. And it's got and gone are the days of like, I'm not painting my house, I'm not replacing the carpet, like you know what I mean? All that makes a big difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Like so
absolutely.
Might as well do the upgrade for yourself.
I met with a seller before I came here, and we had this discussion, and he's pricing it like correctly, like under.
Right.
But same thing. And he wants to leave and he has to get out, and he's not undercut. You know what I mean? Like there are houses that sold as low as we're listing, but I also know there's like a $20,000 window. Right. But he's just like, nope, let's just get it. I'd rather have more people come in and we'll figure it out. And so, so good for him. You know, that, and it's it's not old.
Right.
You know
right.
I mean?
He's like the mid-range, like the 2010s, 2013s.
Yeah, like 15 or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So that makes a big difference, but it's an interesting time that we're in. I think it's really just a challenge. Honestly, it's just really expensive. Life in general
if
is
other
really
people
expensive.
have to move on, you have to move on. You
right.
You have
it
to,
is what it is. But like we keep watching that like window. I'm watching the window get smaller and smaller. I'm like, if I don't go
Would anyone
soon,
like to buy a 6-bedroom house?
Yes, would you like a 6-bedroom? I just recently repainted downstairs. It looks lovely. I'm going to repaint the upstairs.
What year is your house?
That 2022.
Oh yeah. See?
So we have new AC, new roof, new appliances. Everything's great. Been well maintained. Still have our 10-year termite bond going. Like we do that every year. We, and we just do little updates here and there that we want for ourselves because, it is what it is. Beautiful backyard, conservation behind us, nice fence. It's excellent house. Hey, there's no street parking back here either. So if you're tired of driving the slalom in the rest of Harmony, just know there's no street parking back in the Enclave. Nope. Anyway, so that is it for...
Well, we have vacant land.
Oh, we have vacant land. That's right. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. that was for Harmony. So let's go on to vacant land. We have 14 properties that sold. I'm just
Two
parcels.
Yep. Two I noticed were seller financed, which was kind of cool. That's the first we really saw that.
One conventional.
Yep. And then we had two that I noticed were the 4.78 acres that sold for $800,000 with seller financing, and then the $1.3 million cash for 0.79 acres, but that was on 192. So that I feel like is, of course, it's got to be some kind of commercial,
right?
You know, because that's not really who's going to build a house on 192.
No, but that's good. There were two seller financings.
Yeah.
You know, and one was fairly cheap. The one on Lakeview was only $150,000 sold for.
Yeah.
But the other one, $800,000. Seller kept a note on that. Well,
yeah,
pretty good. So.
Yeah, good little sales. But that's crazy. That was kind of a good amount of vacant land sales this month.
It was. Yeah, still selling the land.
And nothing that seemed anything like you'd be like, oh, there's going to be a development going in there, because there was a larger parcel, but it was on Bronco. So like those are, it's probably a single.
Yeah. Yeah,
parcel.
that's only a little under 4.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
So
as always, you can check all the reports on CorcoranConnect.com underneath St. Cloud or Harmony.
And you can always find us on all of your favorite podcast platforms. You can check us out on YouTube. You can check us out on, Apple, Spotify. Yeah, you can find us anywhere.
Anywhere.
Google Corcoran Connect.
And go ahead and follow us at Corcoran Connect. You pretty much can find us anywhere. So.
Yeah. But thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode.